So you have worked in the field of strategic management and been a research scholar at IIM Rohtak also and an assistant professor at Voxin. So what do you think, why has there been a need or why has there been a shift towards management education as a career option even at the graduation level?
Yeah, so this is a very, pertinent question in today's time. What we see here is, see, first we have to understand when we talk about strategy, essentially there are three levels of strategy, right? Let me just briefly, touch upon them and then I'll extend it. Sometimes we see something called corporate strategy, which is applicable to a large organization, let's say like Hindustan Unilever, and they take a strategy. For example, they want to become, more eco-friendly in next 5 years. So when we talk about this kind of strategy, this is a large corporate level strategy, and typically the timeline for these kind of strategies are longer, and top level management, the CEOs and CXOs of HUL are involved in this. At the next level, what we see is something called business level strategy. So all these corporates, they have strategic business units which are focused towards certain part of business. For example, if we talk about again Hindustan Unilever, there is a division for, let's say, personal care, soap, shampoo, so on and so forth, right? Now, the point is, in those kind of business division level strategy, what we see is certain strategies which are specific to certain product categories, not the entire organization. For example, HUL also have, let's say, quality ice cream or Pepsodent toothpaste. The kind of strategy that are applicable to, let's say, Peers or Dove is not applicable to Pepsodent or quality. Now, coming to the third and final level of strategy, which is called functional level strategy, meaning within the strategic business unit, there are functional teams like marketing team, HR team, finance team, so on and so forth, right? Now, for those individual teams, there are certain responsibilities. For example, let's say 5 years or 4 years ago, Dove was predominantly, targeting women customers, not men. Now, then they came up with Dove Men series as well as Dove Baby, or they call it Baby Dove series. So these are the kind of functional strategies which within a business level takes place, right? Now coming to your original question, why there is a need for strategic management even at the bachelor's level. As we know, India is a growing economy. Despite the COVID pandemic, the outlook for Indian growth story is of course positive, and more businesses will come, which means there will be more and more requirement for professionals, trained workforce who will join in this kind of large companies, and they will manage certain strategies. At the entry level, most likely the students, the attendees, when they complete their BBA, I'm assuming that since they are appearing for IPMAT, they are targeting IIM Indore, Rohtak, Bodh Gaya and other IIMs where there is something called integrated programming management, right? So when they complete their education, they will probably join in those functional level strategies where they will be responsible, depending on their field of specialization, they will be responsible for managing certain strategic aspects within these national companies, or even they join a startup, there are certain areas where they have to focus in. So overall, if a candidate or dear students are interested in pursuing a career in business administration domain, it is essential to have a mindset to go for strategic management. So it is essential component, irrespective of what is your specialization or what is your interested domain. You have to keep your eyes and ears open towards having a strategic mindset.
Yeah. So you mentioned about whichever stream they choose. So what kind of streams do one have as an option, that too with in the current situations, if you see everything is changing from conventional, like no more only BCom is valid, everyone's talking fintech and all of these things. So when you come to a BBA, what kind of options does one have?
Good. So there are some classic specializations like finance, HR, operations, marketing. These are often we call them evergreen or classic kind of specializations. On the other hand, the business scenario is changing, and to meet the change, we have to update ourselves. For example, when, as you mentioned, fintech or finserv, financial services or financial technology. So it is no more only about the financial aspects. It is how you integrate technology into finance domain. Similarly, it is no more about only marketing. It is more about digital marketing, or sometimes it's called, all of us are now pretty much used to e-commerce, which was not the case 7 8 years ago, right? Amazon entered India in 2013. So before that, Flipkart was there since 2007, but it was not that mature. So now by default, we consider that, okay, let's see if it is available in online, or otherwise we will go to Big Bazaar or other organized retail. So then things like omni-channel retailing comes into the place. So my point is, business is changing. To keep up with the change, we have to have newer specializations, and with that we have specialized domains such as that. Even at Watson University, we have a specialization on data science and AIM. So because that is where the future is heading to. Similarly, as you mentioned about fintech, we have something called financial services, which includes fintech and beyond that. So these are uh, these are kind of augmented version of classic courses, meaning, let's take finance as a classic specialization. We try to focus on how technology is changing the scenario, and we prepare our students in that field. So either way, the options are good. If the students are more willing to pursuing certain focused career, they are welcome to do so. On the other hand, uh, if they want to pursue certain classic specialization, of course, they can go ahead with that as well. Uh, Anisha, I think,
I was
yeah,
on mute.
yeah.
So yeah, I was saying that we always hear about, everyone is talking about comparing of programs, the way it's in India and the way it is abroad.
Mm,
So you have a lot of practical learning. So when we
mm,
talk about BBA and a graduation level, what
mm.
kind of practical aspects should one aspire to learn in the graduation stream itself?
Oh, yeah. So this is very, very important. So, uh, see, essentially, management is a part of social science, right? It is kind of different from physical sciences like physics, chemistry. So, those who are from science background, they will know about laboratory experiments, right? In chemistry lab, we used to make certain experiment. In business, the market is your lab. When you try to come up with some idea and you want to test it, you have to go to market and you have to identify how the consumers are perceiving it. If they are talking about certain pain points, how you can address it, how your change version can work. So of course practicality has to be there. Now coming to how to integrate that within the course, there are several ways in which we do it. I have seen it in IIM when I was a student there. I see it here at Watson University when I am teaching it. So either way, one of the major component is case study discussion. So we in every course, in every subject, there are multiple case studies which are discussed as a part of the course in order to better understand certain concepts or certain theoretical frameworks, right? How, for example, if we talk about something called triple bottom line, which is a way to go for sustainability. Now, we also read a case about Coca-Cola, how they are implementing it. So this is in some way, exposing the students towards the practicality of those theoretical frameworks. Number one. Number two, there are several simulation games, simulation softwares which are regularly used in classrooms so that students can get a hands-on experience. For example, those who will be interested in finance, essentially they have to be good with trading. Now, uh, at the learning stage, it's very difficult to handle lakhs and crores of rupees, actual rupees. So what you can do is you can use certain simulation softwares which are typically available in institutes, and you can trade with dummy currency, meaning you are not earning any real money, you are not losing any real money, but you are getting the feel of it. So that is another way of doing it. And the third part is internship. So in Watson, what happens is after the first year there is 1 month summer internship, and after the second year there is 2 years of summer internship, and it is pretty much all other institutes follow the similar practice. So while studying, students will join certain organization, and they will work in certain projects, and they will get some hands-on experience. So that is another way of learning. Apart from that, research projects, live projects, company projects keeps on coming.